Good afternoon and welcome to today's vlog for Tuesday the 19th of August. Hope everybody is well. Gonna get straight on with it today. So I won a job yesterday afternoon quite early. It didn't seem very busy, but anyway, won a job and that was from Colchester going to Welwyn Garden City. A small van job. 65 miles and I got £80 for that, so quite pleased with that. Nice start to the morning. It was an 8:30 collection. It's from a farm. Excuse me, sorry. I've picked up there before and it did say on the notes no collection before 8:30 as goods had to be picked that morning. So for change I was nice and sensible, got there at 8:15, went into the office and they said yep, we'll be with you soon, and they came out 8:30 on the dot with a small pallet of apples, and I left just after at 8:35. Two choices which way to go, but we went with the A120 across towards Stansted and then stayed on the 120 all the way down to the A10 and then across the 414 to Hertford and off to Welwyn Garden City. All okay, got there dead on 10 o'clock. Nice simple offload. It literally took 5 minutes and paperwork was signed and I was off site. Parked up around the corner in Lidl's, very handy. Wasn't an awful lot going on. It was okay, but there was nothing that was quite close. Everything was 35, 40, 45 minutes away. There was a job that came up from Welwyn Garden City going to Redhill. That would have been nice. 5 minutes away, small van, 67 miles. I put £70 on that, maybe slightly optimistic, bearing in mind time of year and everything, but I didn't get that. There you go, not one of them things. There was a job from Ware going down to Aylesford in Kent, small van again, 64 miles. I put £80 on that, again maybe slightly optimistic, but again it's this balance. Do you go too cheap and get the jobs, or do you try and hold out a little bit? But no luck. Anyway, we did finally get a job around about 11 o'clock, so about an hour wait. And this was, well, the job came up originally, it was from Biggleswade going down to Chislehurst in Kent. I put the price, I can't remember what the mileage was now, but the price I put on it was £70. And I got a phone call on that after about 5 or 10 minutes. Accepted the job, off I went, and literally 2 minutes afterwards I got a phone call from the shipper. That job's cancelled, but we can give you a job from Welham Green, Hatfield, going to Hornchurch in Essex. That was 33 miles, £50, again small van job. Now that actually was better. Obviously I was £20 less than the Chislehurst job, but I was actually 15 minutes away from the pickup and not 30, and obviously I don't have to pay any Dartford tolls, and there's no guarantee you're going to get something back from the Kent side to get you back over the water. So I was all right with that. I was quite pleased with that. Now the one little thing with that, this I suppose technically wasn't a CX job. Let me explain. About 6 months, maybe longer, lose track of time, don't we all? This was, I'm going to say this was for HBC Logistics. I'm not going to tell you anything that you don't already know what's out in the public domain. And I've done some jobs for HBC, and absolutely fine, good company to work for. They've got their own vehicles and they know the business very, very well. But I changed their terms of payment from 30 days end of month to 60 days date of invoice. They did this without sort of any much notice. Having said that, they did send everybody an email to give you a revised payment date. Now, as you know, if you've listened to my videos, I'm a little bit reluctant to work with some 45-day shippers, and I'm very reluctant to work for 60-day shippers. And it slightly concerned me that a company as big as HBC has suddenly gone to 60-day payment. Pete the Courier, he is the man. He's in good friends with the people who run the company. And I did actually message him through his Sunday Q&A, and he answered it that there was no problems with the company. I did a little bit of research myself because I was slightly a little bit worried, and I found out that they had their own app. And when I did some research on that, they pay 30 days end of month on their own app. So I applied. uploaded all my paperwork and was accepted. Now, I've had that app, as I say, 6 months. It might be longer, I just lose complete track of time. And I had done one job before on it, but there isn't anything that comes up on the Air app that you don't see on the CX, apart from jobs that are for 7.5 tonners, 18 tonners, 26 tonners and Arctics. And also you can see if they have jobs, say, up in Manchester when you're in Colchester. Now, obviously, normally with the CX, you won't see that. But job-wise, if a job came up for HBC on the Courier exchange, I could look across on the HBC app and it was there. And that's what I did on this occasion. So everything's been done through the HBC app, which means I get paid in 30 days end of month and not 60 days date of invoice. The app itself is absolutely no problem. It's pretty much straightforward. Not too similar to the CX, but the functions are pretty much the same. Anyway, we did that job. I was on site for 11:20. As I say, I was only about 15 minutes away. Away at 11:25. It was just one small pallet, very lightweight to be fair. Left for Hornchurch, straight run through. Got there for 12:15. It was a school, like so many deliveries are this time of year, but we got it all done and it was all off for 12:25. That meant it was lunchtime for me. So being in Hornchurch, which is where I used to live, and I've got the dog with me today, so we decided that we're going to go to the park that we always used to go for walkies in. I'm sure we found that all a little bit strange because he's not been there for the best part of a year and a bit. But anyway, we went there, he had a walk and stretch the legs, and I did as well. We had our lunch and we were ready to get at 1:15. So we had a nice break. Now, there's not much in Hornchurch, so I made the decision that I'm going to make my way out towards the borders of sort of Upminster towards Basildon. There's an old pub on the 127, if you've ever been down it, called the Halfway House, and it's called the Halfway House because it's exactly halfway between central London and Southend. They've also got a Starbucks there, and there's no limit on the parking, so it's a good place to go and rest up. And you can still come back towards Upminster, Romford. You can go turn left and go up to Brentwood and Hutton, Ingatestone. You can go right and make your way down to Grays, Purfleet, Tilbury, or go further east towards Basildon. So it's a nice place to sit and wait. Great expectation of getting something, but very little came up. There was a job from there was a couple of jobs really from Essex going over towards Heathrow Airport, Hounslow, Slough, that way, for the air freight companies, and I didn't really think there was much point in going for them. You're going to get £80-90 and very unlikely to get anything out of Heathrow at sort of 3-4 o'clock time, and then you've got a 2.5 hour, 3 hour journey home empty. So I let them go, and I thought I'm just going to try and hold fire and see if I can get something a little bit closer. There were some nice jobs came up for tomorrow if you fancied a little trip out. There was a job from Harwich in the morning going to Sheffield for a small van, 210 miles, and I put a price of 195 on that. And there was a job from Chelmsford in the morning going to Wrexham, small van, 210 miles again. I stuck £200 on that. Didn't get either of those. So again, it's just giving you an idea of what the market is at the moment. I don't think they're bad prices, but obviously people are doing those jobs for less. And because they're all 8 o'clock pickups, I don't suppose they're people doing, you know, backloads that live up that way. It's people who are starting their day there. Anyway, there was a couple of other jobs. I'm just going to mention, I won't mention the company again, but there was a job from Canvey Island going into London West 1 for a small van, £30 they wanted to pay. I'm not being kidding, £15 of that is going to be congestion charge. And they was offering another one from Chelmsford into WC2 for £45, which again, £15 of that is congestion charge if you haven't been in. Just ridiculous prices. Anyway, we waited and we waited and we waited, and we're starting to get a little bit concerned. Then a job appeared just after 3 o'clock for collection at 4 o'clock from Harlow going to Colchester. Long wheelbase job, and that looked good, so I put a price of that of £60 on, and I got a call at 3:15. That job, well, I didn't get a call, they just sent it through, to be fair. Job's on. Now, I was about 40 minutes away, so it's a little bit of a rush, but M25 and M11 all behaved themselves, and arrived on site at 3:55. It's a busy place, that's all I'm going to say. There was a problem that the goods that have been ordered by the customer in Colchester weren't available, and they have decided they're going to take some other goods. Now those other goods then had to be repackaged, relabelled, put on a pallet, which means we've sat around, because it's a 2-van job, we've sat around finally able to leave at 5:10. So we've been on site for just over an hour. The shipper is aware, he's had a message, he's aware of the delay, and he's aware that we're going to be late at Colchester, but they're going to wait for us, so that's fine. We just haven't agreed the waiting time, but hopefully we can get £20 additional for the waiting time. So 3 jobs today, first one at 80, second one at 50, and the last job is 60, making 190, but hopefully we're going to have at least another £20 waiting put on that. So that's an okay day, that's within my target, and just slightly over. So that's it for today. I've got a couple of things I want to talk about, but I'll save them when I've got a little bit more time, because I don't like these videos banging on too long. Hope you had a good day yourselves. Take care this evening, and we'll talk again tomorrow. All the best. Cheers, Paul.